I am Ravikant Mallajoshula and welcome to my topic Circuits and Networks. Circuits and Networks. We will find these topics in different core engineering subjects like Electrical Circuits and Networks for EEE, EC, and Instrumentation Engineering. We'll also find Circuits and Network Applications in Basic Electrical Engineering subject for CSE students, IT students, mechanical students, and civil engineering students. To understand the behavior of the network or any circuits, let us start our topic with series and parallel arrangement of resistors. You can see a symbol of resistance and the resistance. Electrically, it is defined as the property of an element that opposes the flow of current, and current is defined as the flow of charge. Mathematically, it can be shown as I is equal to dq by dt. dq indicates the flow of charge with respect to time, that is why it is dt. So you have positive charges and negative charges separated by a small distance. If at all you cross the vicinity of that area, current starts flowing from higher potential to lower potential. This is the closed circuit where you have source voltage, you have a current which is driven to the resistor, and it is also flowing through the load and it is coming back to the source. So the directions of the current, it is shown by the arrows. When the current flows through resistor R, it will develop a voltage which is called as resistor voltage given by V suffix R, and when it is going to flow through the load, it will be called as load voltage. When you look at the periodic table, we find certain materials which offer very little opposition to the flow of electric current. These materials are termed as conductors. Example of such conductors are metals, acids, salt solutions, etc. Materials which offer high resistance to the flow of electric current are categorized as insulators. When you look at the examples of insulators, mica, glass, rubber, they set as examples. Practically, you can see a cutting plier which is used to cut electrical wires. It is a metal surrounded by the insulating material which is blue in color. It is a glass cup insulator which is used for high power applications. A tester used to test whether the power supply is getting into the socket or not. And we find many applications of rubber in electrical engineering. This picture depicts the motherboard of a circuit where you have a blue color element. This is the capacitor generally. What exactly capacitor and its properties we are going to see in our further classes. Here you can see the resistors. The resistors are having a strips of orange, black and brown over it. They designate the value of the resistors. This is another motherboard representation of a resistors. You can see there are plenty of resistors. They are arranged in series and parallel combination. This is a parallel combination of resistor indication, and here you can see the orange arrow indicates that a green color resistor is in series with the diode. These two are in series. Similarly, this resistor is in series with this. So you can see number of resistors, and there are many strips or colors over the resistors which designates the difference between one resistor to another resistor. This can be easily understand once you are thorough with color coding of resistors. With color coding of resistors, we can tell the exact value of the resistor. This concept we are also going to see in our future classes. Again, you can make a note of this at this particular point. You have this resistor, and these four resistors are parallel to this resistor. Means what? All these five resistors are parallel. Why they are parallel? Because you can find the node points on left hand side. These are the common node points, and on the right hand side these are also common node points. If at all this node point is at one potential and this node point is at attention potential, so these resistors are said to be in parallel arrangement. In order to understand further, we'll go with an example of series and parallel combinations. Now there is a series combination of resistors. This is rectangular form. It is also a impedance form of the resistor. So 1 kilo ohms, 2 kilo ohms, 3 kilo ohms. They are symbolized in the same fashion when you have individual resistors in series. The net value of resistance can be obtained by adding all the resistors which are in series. So our total value is nothing but R1 plus R2. plus R3. So here you have our total is equal to 1 kilo ohm plus 2 kilo ohms plus 6 kilo ohms, which is equal to 9 kilo ohms. Kilo value indicates 10 to the power of 3. So total series resistance for this particular example is obtained as 9 kilo ohms. We can go with another example where you have a circuit having two loops. What are the two loops? Let us see the circuit behavior individually. You have one voltage source shared by four elements. So one active voltage source as input supply and four resistors. 12 volts is the active volts and resistors are 6, 8, 4 and 12. There are two node points. How to identify node points? You can see here I have identified the node points as capital N shown by the blue dot, and you can see a brown lines which are acting as a ground node, or you can talk to a uh, uh, you can talk generally as a ground node or reference node. A node point and a reference node point, they are the two nodes over here. Between these two nodes you can see a 12 volts is in series with 6 ohms. This is one branch. 8 and 4 are in series. This is another branch. And 12 ohms is the direct resistance connected between node point and reference node. So for initial stage, we are going to take the reference node value as 0. So node point is at higher potential, reference node point is at lower potential, and all the elements are connected between the node points and the reference node. As I told you, we can also identify the loops here. Loop 1, you can see the loop 1 is shared between 12 volts, 6 ohms, 8 ohms and 4 ohms. Similarly, have your loop 2, which is shared between 8 and 4, which is in series, parallel to 12 ohms. So this is another loop. So whenever a network or a circuit is given to you, you should be in a position to identify the loops and the node points and the branch points. Later on, it will be help us to calculate the node voltages, branch currents, or we can apply standard Kirchhoff's voltage laws, standard Kirchhoff's current laws in order to sort out the loop problems and node problems. Let us find the solution for this particular circuit. We need to find out the total resistance of this particular circuit. So we have to look at 12 volts and we have to find out the total equivalent resistance of this circuit. So we'll start off with 8 and 4, which are in series. So the series combination 8 plus 4 results in 12 ohms. Fortunately, R4 value is also 12 ohms. So we have two parallel 12 ohms in this fashion. So the parallel circuit is changed to 1 by R total is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Similarly, if at all you have n number of resistors arranged in parallel, so the R total can be estimated as 1 by R total is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus so on plus 1 by Rn for n number of resistors. Since we have only two parallel paths, I am taking the LCM and I am taking the value of R total is equal to R1 into R2 by R1 plus R2. Just substitute the values of R1 and R2 from the given problem. We'll get the value of R parallel is equal to 12 into 12 divided by 2 times of 12. So R parallel value is 6 ohms. We can replace this entire parallel circuit with 6 ohms in this fashion. Now we can see you have R1 is equal to 6 ohms and R parallel is equal to 6 ohms. So overall it's a closed circuit. In fact, it's a series circuit. The current in a series circuit will remain be the same. So the 6 and 6, which are total equivalent resistance for the given problem, obtained as 12 ohms. So we end up with this problem. In further classes, I'm going to come out with latest problems, and if time permits, we'll also sort out some of the latest gate problems. Apart from this, in some uh, text, they will ask you to calculate the resistance based upon the length and area. So you should understand the resistance of a conductor depends upon the following properties and following factors. That is what the resistance is directly proportional to its length, and element is given to you, so the resistance value will be directly proportional to its length. It is inversely proportional to the area of the cross section of the conductor. It depends upon the nature of the material. It also depends on the temperature of the conductor. These properties are very important to understand the property of Ohm's law. I'm also going to take another class on Ohm's law and its behavior in particular circuits and networks. With this conclusion, we can come out with resistance formula as R is proportional to L by A, or R is equal to rho L by A. So R is equal to rho L by A is another way of calculating the resistance. Thank you.